Bonjour everyone, and welcome back to Paris Top Tips. If you're flying soon to Paris, one of your first questions is probably, how do I actually get from the airport into the city easily, and without being ripped off? Well, fear not. Today, I'm covering all your options, from fancy limos to the humble city bus, for getting into Paris from Charles de Gaulle, Orly, or even Beauvais airport, with prices starting as low as €2. So now, first thing first, where are you going to land? If you're visiting Paris, chances are you'll be landing at either Roissy-Charles de Gaulle's airport, northeast of the city, or Orly airport, down to the south of the City of Light. Well, unless you're a budget traveler, in that case, there's a good chance you'll find yourself at Beauvais airport, much farther to the north. So let's take a quick look at each of these three airports. First up, Charles de Gaulle Airport, also known as Roissy. It's the main international hub, about 25 kilometers northeast of Paris. In 2023, over 67 million passengers passed through, and about 80% were international flights. It's the third busiest airport in Europe and the 11th in the world. And it's gigantic. Honestly, you could spend your entire layover just trying to find the right terminal. CDG is where most long-haul flights arrive, so if you're coming from North America, Asia, or anywhere far away, you'll probably land here. Next is Orly Airport, south of Paris. About 13 kilometers from the city center, it saw around 33 million passengers last year, with a mix of domestic, European, and a few long-haul flights. Orly is a bit smaller, but don't let that fool you. You can still get lost trying to find a metro station. And finally, there's Beauvais Airport. Nearly 85 kilometers north of Paris. Yes, you heard that right, 85. Around 4 million passengers landed or departed from Beauvais in 2023, and the airport is mainly used by low-cost carriers like Ryanair. Flights here are cheap, but getting into Paris can cost you more than your plane ticket, so keep that in mind. Okay, now that you know where you'll be landing, let's dive into how to actually get from each airport into Paris, starting with Charles de Gaulle Airport. Speaking of Charles de Gaulle Airport, one of my favorite moments is finally spotting my suitcase coming around on the belt. It can sometimes take quite a while in Paris airports. Before we dive into how to escape Charles de Gaulle Airport, let me share something a bit special today. If you've been following my videos for a while, you know that I never accept payments from hotels, restaurants, or airlines for my reviews on either of my YouTube channels. I always travel anonymously, and these places only discover my reviews when they are already live on YouTube. But today, I'm making an exception. You see, the suitcase I just grabbed off the luggage belt is my LEVEL8 Hegent 24-inch suitcase, and honestly, it's the best suitcase I've ever owned. In the last 10 months, it's followed me on 16 flights, including 8 long-haul trips, plus a few train rides and even some boat journeys. And, apart from a few scratches, because some baggage handlers clearly think suitcases should double as crash test dummies, it's still as shiny and smooth as the day I got it. So when LEVEL8 reached out to me about working together, I was happy to say yes and to introduce you to my LEVEL8 Hegent check-in 24-inch suitcase. So why do I love it so much? Well, a few reasons. First, it's zipperless. I absolutely love that. In fact, it's made of polycarbonate reinforced with an aluminum frame, making it incredibly sturdy and built to last. Second, the wheels. It has 4 double spinner wheels that are the quietest and smoothest I've ever experienced. Gliding through airports, or even Parisian cobblestones, is a breeze. And third, the inside. It's got 2 fully lined packing compartments, offering plenty of space for all my stuff. Plus, there's a handy dry-wet separation feature, which means I can store my swimming trunks even if they're still damp after a beach day. I loved it so much, I ended up getting a second one in a different color for my daughter Charlotte. So if you're looking for a new suitcase, and this one sounds like it might be the right fit for you, check out the link in the description below. You'll even find an up to 20% discounted price right now, especially handy with Amazon Prime Days going on. No matter which terminal you're in at Charles de Gaulle Airport, the signage for taxis is very clear, and it's crucial to follow it closely. Look up and you'll see blue signs marked taxi in French, English and Chinese. Look down and you notice big blue circles with footprints guiding you to the official taxi rank. To make it even easier, here are the gates for the official taxi stands at each terminal at Charles de Gaulle Airport. Here's where you need to stay alert between the arrivals hall and the official taxi ranks. This is prime territory for a common scam. As you exit, you might be approached by people posing as taxi drivers, offering you a ride into Paris. They'll try to convince you that the official taxi stands are only for trips outside the city, or promise you a special deal if you go with them. There's only one thing to say: no. Never accept these offers, or you could end up in a situation like this. Or this. Or this one, when a female solo traveler was charged 6 times the regular fare for a taxi ride from Charles de Gaulle Airport to the city center. When she refused to pay, the fake taxi driver threatened her. To stay safe, always use the official taxi stand, which are easy to find. Verify that your taxi displays an official sign on the roof, features an official meter inside displaying the fare, and bears the official Paris taxi plate on the side of the vehicle. Never accept rides from any other vehicles unless you've pre-booked a designated shuttle or limo service or Uber or Bolt rideshare. Official taxi fares to Paris are fixed at 56 euros for the right bank and 65 euros for the left bank. Also keep in mind that you're in France, where tipping is not mandatory. But if you're satisfied with the service, a tip of 3 to 5 euros will be appreciated. Another great solution is to take the regional RER train to Paris. If you are in Terminal 2, follow these signs to the RER train. And if you are in Terminal 1, then you will have to take the automatic metro shuttle CDG Val to the RER station Aéroport Charles de Gaulle 1. All trains go to Paris, where they stop at 7 stations. There are trains every 10 to 15 minutes on weekdays, and journey time is about 45 minutes to Châtelet-les-Halles in the center of Paris. You can purchase tickets to Paris at these vending machines. The price is currently 13 euros, but if you don't already have one, you will have to pay an extra 2 euros for a Navigo Easy card. You can also purchase your tickets at this ticket office. If you land in Paris from Monday to Thursday and intend to stay longer than 2 or 3 days, my advice is you go in this office and purchase a Navigo Découverte card and weekly pass. Or even better, download the EDF Mobility app on your iOS or Android phone to load tickets directly onto it. No need to queue. If you choose the Navigo Découverte card, you'll need an ID photo. Conveniently, there are 4 automatic photo booths called photomatons on the same level as the office. The trains to Paris will leave from platforms 11 or 12. As you can see, the issue with these trains is that there's no dedicated storage for luggage. During certain times of the day, they can also get extremely crowded. The RoissyBus is a bus that goes directly from Charles de Gaulle Airport to the Opera in the heart of Paris. It stops at every terminal, just follow the bus signs to reach it. The price in 2025 is a bit cheaper than on the video, at 13 euros. It's not anymore a specific RoissyBus ticket, but a Paris region to airport ticket. That's why it's the same price as the RER ticket. They're both the same ticket now. But if you don't have a Navigo Easy card, you'll have to pay an extra €2 for it. That's because there are no more paper tickets available in Paris Transport, so you need a digital card or an app. The journey time, depending on the traffic, is around an hour. The RoissyBus brings you to one of the most beautiful neighborhoods in Paris, Opera and Grand Boulevard. Here's the cheapest way to reach Paris from the airport, the local buses line 350 or 351. For just €2, price of a bus tram ticket, bus 351 will take you to Place de la Nation in the eastern part of Paris, while bus 350 heads to Porte de la Chapelle in the northern part of the city. The downside with these buses is that they are local lines, meaning they make frequent stops along the route, so the journey will take a very long time. Plus, bus 350's final stop at Porte de la Chapelle is in one of Paris' rougher neighborhoods. And there will be no dedicated place for your luggage. Private hire cars are not allowed to park inside the airport. You will therefore have to order them on the application and wait for them at the meeting point they will have set for you. And because taxis have a fixed price, Uber on the lights will not really be a cheaper option for you. If you'd rather skip the hassle altogether, there's always the option of booking a private limousine or chauffeur service from Charles de Gaulle into Paris. Depending on the car category, prices would go from 80 to more than €200. Alright, now let's talk about Orly Airport, the second Parisian airport south of the city. Orly Airport is actually shaped a bit like the letter J, with 4 terminals lined up one after the other. It starts with Terminal 1 at the bottom curve of the J and goes all the way up to Terminal 4 at the top. So depending on where you land, you might have a bit of a walk, but at least it's all in a straight-ish line. Well, sort of. When it comes to taxis from Orly into Paris, there's also a flat rate system. It's €36 if you're heading to the left bank and €45 for the right bank. At Orly, there are 3 official taxi stands. You'll find them at gate 14A for terminals 1 and 2, gate 32A for terminal 3, and gate 48A for terminal 4. And just like at Charles de Gaulle, beware of fake taxi drivers hanging around in front of these exits. They'll try to approach you before you reach the official taxi ranks, so always head straight to the marked taxi stands to avoid any scams. At gate 48A for Terminal 4 and gate 33A serving Terminal 1, 2 and 3, you'll also find the pickup areas for private hire cars booked through apps like Uber or Bolt. So if you've arranged a ride in advance, that's where your driver will meet you. Right at gate 33A in Terminal 3, and just a short walk from gate 42D in Terminal 4, you'll find the entrance to the Line 14 metro station. Since 2024, it's by far the easiest way to reach Paris from Orly, offering 12 stations across the city from Maison Blanche in the southeast all the way to Porte de Clichy in the northwest. The cost of this new metro link to Paris is the same as the Paris region to airport ticket, €13. But if you don't already have one, you'll also need to buy a Navigo Easy card for an extra €2. Unfortunately, you can't get a Navigo Découverte card at Orly, so if you were hoping to buy a Navigo weekly pass, you won't be able to do it from these vending machines. And this office, when open, does not sell Navigo Découverte cards. Before Metro Line 14 arrived at Orly, and before the Orlybus line was discontinued, the Orlyval was the best public transport option for getting into Paris. It's still running today, but it's less convenient than Metro, as you have to change from the Orlyval to the RER at Antony before continuing into the city. It does have one small advantage though, and only until November 2025. You can still buy a paper ticket for €13 to reach Paris, instead of needing the Paris airport ticket plus a €2 Navigo Easy card. But as I said, these paper tickets will stop working after November 2025. By the way, if needed, the Orlyval is also a quick, convenient and free way to get between Terminal 4 and Terminal 1 and vice versa. So, even if you're not heading into Paris with it, it could still be super handy for getting to our next way to reach Paris. From exit 48 in Terminal 4, it's about a 300-meter walk to reach the Tramway T7 station. Let's look at the cheapest ways to get from Orly Airport into Paris. If you're traveling on a budget, or just love a good deal, these options are for you. A bus tram ticket for the T7 tram costs just €2. With that, you can ride to Orly-la RER, where you can transfer to Metro Line 14. Yes, the same line that goes to the airport. But from there, your metro ticket will only cost €2.50. Or you can stay on the T7 all the way to its terminus at Villejuif-Louis-Aragon, where you can catch Metro Line 7, also for just €2.50. With this option, you can get right into the heart of Paris for just €4.50, or €6.50 if you also need to buy a Navigo Easy card, which you'll need anyway for getting around inside Paris. Another cheap option is to take bus 183 for just 3 stops using a €2 bus tram ticket and get off at Gare de Thiers Orly. From there, you can catch either Metro Line 14 or the RER into Paris for €2.50. And don't forget, you'll still need a Navigo Easy card for €2 if you don't already have one. From Beauvais Airport, the main way into Paris, and in fact the only one that I'd recommend, is the official Beauvais shuttle bus called Aérobus. You can book your ticket online at aérobusparisbeauvais.com, or you can pay by credit card at Beauvais Airport and at Saint-Denis Station if you're traveling from Paris to Beauvais. There are 3 shuttles bus lines from Beauvais Airport, all costing €17.90. The first goes to Saint-Denis, where you can connect to Metro Line 13. There are more than 55 buses per day, and depending on traffic, the ride takes around 75 minutes. The second line goes to La Défense, with at least 14 departures per day, and takes about 90 minutes depending on traffic. From there, you can catch the RER or Metro Line 1 to reach Central Paris. Just note that for this shuttle, advance reservation is mandatory. The third line takes you to La Villette with 13 departures daily, and the journey takes about 90 minutes. From there, you can connect to Metro Line 7 or the RER. However, I don't recommend this option late at night, as the area around La Villette can be a bit unsafe. A taxi from Beauvais Airport to Paris will cost at least €180. Private transfers might be slightly cheaper, but still pricey. Here's a quick summary of all the transport options I mentioned in this video, along with their respective prices. So now, the big question is, which one is the best for you? The most convenient option? Grab a taxi. It'll take you straight to your door, luggage and all, and you won't have to wrestle your suitcase through metro gates. But be warned, your wallet might feel the ride too. It's definitely pricier than public transport. The cheapest option? Definitely the local buses or trams. But fair warning, they come with quite a few drawbacks. They're slow, with plenty of stops along the way. They won't drop you right at your door, so you'll probably have to change to another metro or bus. and there's zero space for big suitcases, so wrestling your luggage might become part of your Paris workout. Now, if you're after the best value for money, here are your go-to options. At Orly, the brand new Metro Line 14 is fast, direct and affordable. At Charles de Gaulle, the RER gets you in central Paris efficiently without breaking the bank. And from Beauvais, the official Aérobus is by far the easiest and most cost-effective way to reach the city.